Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm reviewing LEGO Harry Potter set number 76406 Hungarian Horntail Dragon. This set has 671 pieces, one minifigure, and it retails for $50 in the US. This is part of those static but flying sculptures that LEGO's been making for the last 3 years for Harry Potter, but it's different because this is actually minifigure scale while the other ones were much larger than minifigure scale. And as a result, this is also the biggest set that they've released to date for these sculptures. This Harry minifigure is just awesome. I love it so much. Probably my favorite Harry minifigure this year, although not like the other ones have much competition because Harry minifigures tend to be pretty boring. Love that torso print for the Triwizard outfit. He is holding, one of those new brooms. I've already said in another review, I do not like these new broom pieces. I don't think they look good. Like, the minifigures ride them just as awkwardly as they ride the old ones, except I think their legs fit, even worse around these. And, using the handcuffs as the foot stands, it's an inspired choice, but one that I don't think works. However, the reason this minifigure is so awesome is because of that. Dual molded arms and really awesome arm printing, and that is on both sides. So it's really nice to get such a deluxe Harry minifigure. Great back printing as well. And then he also has an alternate face. We got a Hungarian Horntail in 2019. It wasn't, a set like this. It was just a regular set. But a lot of people, myself included, didn't like it. And I was not a huge fan of this when this was first revealed. But after building it, I love it. I think it's my favorite of, these sculpture models. I think it just looks absolutely incredible. I love, what the designer has done here. My only issue with this is that I wish it wasn't on this stupid stand. I like these sets. I think the functions are really cool, but looking at this thing, I just wish it was a regular dragon because it's so much better than the one that we actually got. So starting at the base, you do have a printed 2x4 tile that says Hungarian Horntail on it. That looks awesome, and I do like how, LEGO's trying to make this look like the Triwizard Arena. So it's just kind of rocky, good use of that piece, good use of colors. And then we have the golden egg right at the base. That is also really cool because, again, it kind of lets you freeze this scene in time. And something else that really helps with that is this clear stand, because I'm sure you saw Harry on it at the start of the video. So you can adjust this, and then on those little transparent orange studs, you can actually pose the end of the broom because it is system compatible. And so with that, you can have Harry flying away from the Horntail. And I think that that looks really, really awesome. It's a very dynamic, display piece. And this is also part of why it's my favorite compared to the other ones. Because it is minifigure scale, you can play around with stuff like this instead of just having the minifigure stand at the base. And we might as well start at the head since I'm already up front. I love this flame. This flame coming out of this thing's mouth is so cool. It is like this transparent orange mixed with iridescent purple. So it's just a really, really awesome new piece. And I just like that fire piece in general. I have ever since I was a kid. And it's just posed in there with one of those clear pieces that was introduced with the DC Superheroes line. And as you saw, you can open the mouth a little bit. It doesn't work super well. Personally, I would keep it closed like that. But I think that all of the detail on the head was done extremely well. I think all of the horns look really good. They flow really well into each other. And I like the various pieces used. You have the teeth pieces in brown, which I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That might be a new color for that very common piece. And then we've got them in tan. You also have the larger teeth. You also have the cow horns, and then of course the teeth plates. So all of that really brings the spiky look across because there's so many different types of spikes. Sadly, the eyes are stickers. I was not a fan of that at all. That actually really bothered me. But I think yeah, sorry. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, this is a sticker, not a print. I forgot. I built this set a couple weeks ago now. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of that either. Everything should be prints in sets like this, especially the eyes. That is a really annoying piece to have to put a sticker on. But other than that, I really like the head, and you can adjust it just a slight bit because there are two Mixel's ball joints back there so that you can raise and lower it. Continuing down through the body, you've got more of those spikes, but then again, you've got more different pieces used to just, represent the spikiness. I don't really know a better way to say that. But yeah, I really like all of the pieces that Lego's used here. The tiles and everything, nothing looks too smooth. I think it still looks very much like an organic creature, which can be difficult sometimes in Lego. You do have some exposed studs, but then you also have a lot of areas that have been smoothed over. And then making our way back here, we do have the tail, which is one of my favorite parts of the model. Back here, it's on a big ball joint, except it's got like a little bit of a stopper at the end, so you can't put it too low. I actually like that. I think that that works good. It looks good, works well, sorry, and it looks good. But you've also got a lot more articulation in the rest of it, because you've got a couple of ratcheting joints here, and then you have a whole bunch of Mixel's ball joints that you can use to thrash this thing every which way. And the end of the tail looks really good as well, just broke off, but yeah, more of those like cow horn pieces used, more of these cheese slopes, and then one big spike to top it off. So that thing looks suitably dangerous, and you can really have this whipping around if that's how you want to display it. And yes, like the gray doesn't really fit with the color scheme, but I don't think it looks bad at all here, because like this dragon has very earthy tones anyway, so I don't think the gray stands out too much. The legs are also really good to me. I feel like I keep saying that, ooh, like this is my favorite part of the model, but no, the head is fantastic, the tail is fantastic, the legs and feet are fantastic. They're shaped really well. Obviously, it looks like an animal's thigh. While I was building this, I was just like, hey, that looks like a chicken leg. But yeah, so the roundedness on that piece, that's like a car hood piece, great choice there. The leg is completely static, unfortunately. You can't move it at all. But you can move the feet a little bit. So you can bend them right here, and then you can move them at the ankle. So again, it's kind of just supposed to be flying, so that's really like the best look that you're going to get out of this. But let me move the tail out of the way, because I really love the way these feet were done. I like how they look padded, you know, like an actual animal's foot, you know, like dogs and cats have like toe beans and stuff like that. That's what this reminds me of. You've got 3 claws and then 1 claw back here. And so I just really like that, because to me that looks exactly like an animal's paw, and I can really imagine it like clutching something. And actually, speaking of clutching something, you can adjust these, so you could have it, you know, like look even more like it's kind of grabbing the air as it flies. And that's why I really love the feet down here, because obviously in the previous sets in this like style, like Hedwig and Fox, like they don't really have proper like feet, you know, like they're not huge creatures that need giant feet. But I'm also going to go ahead and break this off so you can see the other side. This is not finished as well, obviously, but you're going to see the inside more, so I think that that's fine. And then finally, let's just finish up front before we move on to the wings. This is finished off pretty well. This is exactly, you know, the same kind of structure that was used on Hedwig and Fox. And then down here, like, I think this is the most awkward looking part of the model, just because it's so boxy for a dragon. But of course, that's just like how these things are built. So it doesn't look too bad. And then now I think the wings are really interesting, because they do have cloth pieces, but the cloth pieces are put underneath them, not on top. Typically we see cloth like on Ninjago dragons and stuff. It's always put on top. That's not the case here, and I was unsure about that, but I love it. I think that it looks really good, because it lets you see the structure of the wing. You know, like that's a really important thing, I think, that, you know, like dragons have, you know, bird-like structures for their wings. And I like that you can see it. I think that this works really well. It gives the model some depth. It gives it a lot more interest. And I like it. And I usually don't like cloth wings, but if Lego did them more like this and less like this, I think I'd like them a lot more. We also have these like toe ball Technic pieces like recolored into dark tan. I haven't seen that before. And then candlestick piece in dark tan, that's new to me as well. So is that part. But again, I think that, you know, all of this works really well. While I was building this, I wasn't even sure how it would come together, but even that curve right there, like it just looks perfect. So I think that these might be my favorite dragon wings that Lego's done, with cloth at least, because usually I prefer fully brick built. So I'm really happy with that. And now let's take a look at the function. So the function on here works the same as every other set, with just this crank. But actually, this is the first time I'm noticing this, and I do have to say this. This looks super ugly from the back. This is shameful, honestly. I don't think any of the other sets looked this bad from the back, but I will be doing a comparison. Why can you see oranges coming through here? I know that this is the back of the model, but it's not covered up enough to have colors that like out of place. That's really disappointing. So yeah, I mean, I love this set so much. I need to find places to knock it wherever I can, and that is a big one because I think that as soon as you turn it to the side, you notice that. So that's a little bit disappointing, but obviously I didn't notice it until just now, so it's not the end of the world. But you do kind of have to hold the base while you do this, but then you just turn the crank, and there go the wings. So I don't love the feature as much as I did on Hedwig and Fox, because this feels like a very gentle wing flap for a gigantic dragon. I think that this style of flapping works really well for stuff like a phoenix and an owl that are like more gentle, delicate creatures. But I don't know. I don't think that it works quite as well on the Hungarian Horntail. And I have to be perfectly honest, because I felt like this when it was revealed too. This set feels like it only exists because the designers have this function and they know it works, so they're just trying to churn out as many flying creatures as they can using the exact same flapping function before they have to come up with anything new. There are some cool extra parts here, including a white Technic half pin. The box is a typical $50 box size. On top, we've got that little Harry. And then at the back, it shows you the finished size of the model and some really nice pictures of it. The ugly new instruction manual does not look as bad on this one as it does for all of the other sets. And then at the back, we've got the usual Hogwarts connected for 2022. And my video on this is a little bit delayed. I'll be reminding you guys of that in all of these reviews, but it is coming. This set is incredible. I'm in love with LEGO Harry Potter again in 2022. I think that 2021 was shockingly weak for an anniversary year. But I feel like I like every set this year. And even sets like this one, where I didn't like them when they were announced, I didn't love them when pictures came out, I've been very pleasantly surprised when I have it in hand. It was a great build. It looks fantastic on display. It is easily my favorite of these three, like flying creature builds. And yeah, I highly recommend it. Even for $50, the other ones were $40. There's still a great price per part ratio here with 670 pieces for $50. You get one awesome minifigure, and it's bigger than the other ones. So I do think that the price increase is justified. I think that $50 is a good price for this set, and it doesn't need to be cheaper, which I'm not used to saying. So my biggest complaint is just that it stuck to the stand. Like, the Hungarian Horntail we got in 2019 was bad. It just was. Like, the head was terrible. It wasn't a great build. I was really disappointed by it. This one, I wish you could just detach it from the stand and use it as a regular dragon. And I'm sure someone can modify it. Like, you can keep like most of the cosmetic stuff intact and just figure out how to put like proper legs and joints and stuff on it. But it just kind of sucks that we get such a good dragon in this like static format, and we got such a bad dragon as like the real like minifigure play dragon. So, and then again, like I said, the flapping function is just getting a little bit old. I don't want to see like a Ukrainian Iron Belly in this format next year. I mean, I'm sure we will get one, and I will still buy it, and I will like it quite a bit, but the same flapping function is getting a little bit old. I wish that they could like change it up somehow. So that's it for today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.